Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. In today's video I'm going to be going through a thought process. A client asked me about what I think will be popular moving forward. I get this question fairly often. The answer is how long is a piece of string? But you can also forward plan and trend predict. You can do that. And then whilst I got thinking about it, I was thinking, would there ever be an eighth sovereign? So I thought I'd discuss that. I thought I'd talk about the pros and cons, where the market's at, and where I think it's going, and try and answer that question. Now, for me, I've got to the point in my career and my understanding of how the gold and silver, well, especially the gold markets work. It's underpinned by debt. It's a debt-based Ponzi scheme, essentially. Now, I don't want to go down the route of conspiracy theories. That's not me. I'm not interested in that. But I do think that every time you increase the debt, you increase the price of gold. And I've also explored the topic that you can't really get away from the gold price going up, at least not in the Western world, because of how the political system is motivated, how it's geared. It's done every 4 or 5 years. You can't get away from the short-termism. And it's often a case of, I'm not holding the baby. I can promise the earth, I can spend the money, it gets wasted frivolously. That's a topic for another day. But the debt gets increased. Ever since Brown has been in office, that's been an issue in the UK. Now, I can't talk for Australia. I can't talk for New Zealand, Canada, the USA. But it's been a prevalent theme in the UK. Now, the UK stands in good stead in terms of the Royal Mint. Say what you want about them, but they're the leading mint in the world. That's just how it is. They're the most prestigious. So the question is, will they make a eighth sovereign? I think they will have to. I think there's precedent for them to issue that. It's only as far back as 2009, so 15 years ago. That is hard for me to admit. It's almost half my life. That they brought out the quarter sovereign. I think where the gold price is going, I think they're going to price collectors out of the normal sovereign. So when I put things in my reserve, I typically look for half sovereigns now. I have a client, he's doing a date run, he's cleaned me out of a lot of proof half sovereigns, but they're the coins that I will stack more than anything. And if I'm super, super lucky, I'll buy the odd quint. But in terms of the average collector, moving forward, if you believe in the idea that gold is priced appropriately in terms of debt, and you understand that the political mechanism that keeps the revolving door of power is too short term, then gold has to go one way. And if it keeps going up, can the average collector afford the sovereign, the double, and the quint? I think it becomes a rich man's game. I think people are squeezed. We know that. I've said that a lot over the years. And not everything I said, but a lot of things I said come to fruition. That's not to blow my own trumpet, but for me it was logical. That was the logical conclusion. Others may disagree. We shall find out in the long term. But the rich man won't, I say the rich man, wealthier clients, they prefer the quints. The double has always been an odd one. People do collect them, but it's a weird coin to collect. There are key date sovereigns in the double that trade for less than key date sovereigns in the single. And that's because the average collector wants just the sovereign, and it's warped the prices. For me, I've said that the double was a sleeper coin, but it doesn't matter if it's a sleeper coin for 25 years. You're too early to the party and you've kind of wasted your time. Collect it because you enjoy it. But the wealthier clientele will go for the quints, and we know this from auction pricing. So if gold does continue to go up, and you believe in that, is it a hypothesis? Theory, I guess? I know there is a difference. I should know. I wrote a master thesis and included both. Please don't slap me on the wrist, my thesis supervisor, if you're watching this. It means that the average collector, they will have to go smaller. And will there be a natural cut-off point where the Royal Mint pricks their ears up and say, well, hang on, the sovereign ain't cutting it anymore. Why don't we explore the idea of making an 8th sovereign? And they have explored it in other coins. You look at, recently they did the coronation. I recently had a 40th of an ounce. They do a 50th of an ounce, the smallest of 50th of an ounce. And they do grams. You know, so in terms of an 8th sovereign, I will work it out on my calculator because I don't have the number in my head. I know it's 7.32 divided by 8. What's that? 0.6? Let's find out. 7.32 divided by 8. 0.915, so I was 50% out. So we know they go smaller. I think 40th is 0.6. We know they've got the capabilities to go smaller. Now, what does this mean for the rest of the Sovereign series if we're going to extend this thought process? So if they can build the quarter market, and I think they have, I think there's some solid quarter coins, quarter-proof coins, and they are picking up, and they are getting slightly more expensive, or at least I feel they are. Then what's to say that they don't make an 8th proof or an 8th bullion coin? It would make sense. Maybe they just want to stick to the gram. I don't think they go that way, because with the gram coins, it's just bullion. The Royal Mint, it doesn't make much money on bullion. They charge a premium for it, but they can dig out more money on the collectible coins. Now, what would they price that at? So say it's at £60 a gram. It's going to cost them in gold content about £55 plus tooling, plus other fees, you know, other bills on it. Could they put that out for £120, £150? They probably could. Would there be buyers? I think there would. I think it's the next logical step in the thought process. If people are being priced out, will they go down? Now, this is good news for the quarter collectors, and it's good news for the half collectors. And that's why I think positioning yourself in that area isn't a bad shout. I think the full sovereigns are going to slowly decline the higher gold goes up. The collector base will wane a little. I could be wrong. I think citizens of the UK are getting poorer, or the vast majority of them are getting poorer. Citizens of most Western countries are getting poorer, or the vast majority of them. That's the problem with mass inflation. Mass inflation is a double-edged sword. You know, I love inflation. Inflation's fantastic for me, but it also cripples me on the other side. I do well because of the stamps. It gets inflated, and I do very pretty out of that, but not oblivious to the fact I go down a shop, and I call it the crisp test. It cost me £1.25 for a packet of Sean's favourite crisps. It's all vinegar, of course. But it used to be £1. It used to be 80 pence. It used to be 50 pence. And it's jumped and jumped and jumped. And they've also shrinkflated it. And it's the same for the coins. I think they will go smaller. They'll shrinkflate the coins, and they'll whack the premium up because they'll make more money doing it. And I think that there's a loyal enough collector base, and the focus will shift from, say, the normal sovereign down to the half, down to the quarter, down to the 8th potentially. That's where I think we're at. That's where I think we're heading. I could be wrong. It's just a thought exercise. It's just something that popped into my head, and I thought it'd be an interesting video to make, so I can make my $2 a day, or $2 a video. For those of you that do enjoy my channel, I am trying a bit harder. I've got a massive stamp order in the pipeline, so I'm going to be away for a bit most likely, but I do have some videos to put out. I need to put out the silver currency video. There's some more informative, thought-provoking videos that I wish to put out. Yeah, if you like the video, like it, comment, subscribe, downvote it. Some people do. Don't know why. Like, I'd rather you say it to my face, but people are like that, I guess. But I'm probably too old school. I do think we will be heading towards the 8th. I think there is precedent. I think it might be prudent to kind of move into the lower, the smaller sovereigns. If you're treating it as an investment purposes, if you're treating it as collecting purpose, just you do you. You enjoy it, and the money side of things is secondary. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You know, if you want to cash it in at some point, then maybe it's a savvy call. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it won't even happen. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.